Hi there. I'm Dana. I'm a choreographer, a dancer, a movement coach, a coach. I am many things. But I am not, nor have I ever claimed to be, a sports person. That said, I've watched every single Super Bowl halftime show from 91 through 2020, multiple times, and I've performed at one. So that's gotta count for something. This is what I think you need to know about the last 29 Super Bowl halftime shows. And some things you absolutely don't need to know, but they might be interesting to you, or otherwise they might win you some points on game day. Points! That's the extent of my sporting awareness. There are points. Okay, first, the basics. Each Super Bowl production costs on average $10 million. Top to bottom, they're usually 12 to 15 minutes long. That maths down to $666,000 to $833,000 per minute, which sounds like a lot, but it actually makes a lot of sense when you consider the Super Bowl attracts about 100 million viewers. Although Bruno Mars and the Red Hot Chili Peppers had over 115 million viewers, which is 6 million more than the number that watched the game itself. Also, for the record, Katy Perry wins for most views with 118.5 million viewers at one time, according to the Nielsen ratings. That's a huge number, especially relative to the number 6, which is the number of minutes these acts have to set up the field. Holy smokes. Okay, starting at the beginning. The first Super Bowl ever was in 1967. For the first decade and through the 70s, that was mostly featuring marching bands during the halftime show. In the 80s, we see this nonprofit educational group called Up With People a lot. We see them a lot. Then in 91, we see our fearless headlining leaders, the New Kids on the Block, surrounded by kids and Disney characters. It's a little awkward. In 92, Disney does it again with Super Bowl on Ice, which is literally not hot. In 93, Michael Jackson changes the Super Bowl game. Literally. He appears on stage and stands completely still for more than a complete minute before he moves his head, where he spends another 20 seconds before removing his glasses and the music begins. That's all I'll say. In 94, line dancing happens. In 95, Disney does it again with a reenactment of Indiana Jones, which might be the only time someone was actually on fire during the Super Bowl halftime show, except for Beyoncé, which was metaphorical fire, and Katy Perry wore that dress, so she came close. In 96, Diana Ross is legendary in a performance directed by Kenny Ortega and choreographed by Jamie King. She also wins Best Exit. In 97, holy smokes, the Blues Brothers, literally Dan Aykroyd, John Goodman, and James Belushi meet ZZ Top and James Brown in an extremely funky performance. By the way, James Brown leaves me literally speechless. It's hard for me to talk because I get very excited. He gets down. His singers get down. The dancers get down. And their feet are moving very fast. But I'm pretty sure those are Capezio single-sole jazz boots, and this is the job I was born for. Except for I was 10 at the time, so I would have to wait. And super important moment, James Brown rides a scissor lift, just a scissor lift, fully exposed, no bells or whistles or silks or streamers, just a scissor lift, like the ones at Home Depot. Anyways, rides that about 20 feet into the air and does this. That's a pike jump. We're going to show that one more time. Yes, you're welcome for that. Okay, in 98, we celebrate Motown with Boyz II Men, Smokey Robinson, Martha Reeves, The Temptations, and Queen Latifah. And some of my favorite dancers. This is mandatory viewing. 1998, Super Bowl 32. Go do it. Immediately after this video. Okay, in 99, we have the dancingest Super Bowl in history, next to maybe Shakira and J-Lo, on a strict moves per count basis. So many moves, holy smokes. Okay, We start with Big Bad Voodoo Daddy, and I just want to point out that the field cast is not simply holding blinky, sparkly poster boards. They are dancing full out. They are getting down with nunchucks, jump ropes, flashlights, and big tubular-looking things. Extremely resourceful, I would say. Effective. Also, guys on stilts do flips. And then Stevie Wonder enters in, get this, the driver's seat of a moving vehicle. Now, pause here, because this is very important. At the end of Stevie's set, Stevie Wonder introduces Mr. Savion Glover, legendary tap dancer who takes a frickin' solo for 7/8 counts in front of 100 million people. And as if that wasn't incredible enough, Stevie Wonder is wearing freaking tap shoes, and he joins him for the last 8 count. And then Gloria Estefan sings Turn the Beat Around, and I pass out. The end. I'm sweating. And that's just the 90s. Okay, so here we are, the year 2000. Disney strikes again with the most extra Super Bowl halftime show ever. Christina Aguilera, Enrique Iglesias, Phil Collins, and Toni Braxton all together. Why? Because the Super Bowl halftime show is all about one-upping past performances. And this is the show that attempted to do that. In scale of talent, and also in scale of physical props. Big puppets, bigger puppets, and even bigger puppets. This is the show that taught me that bigger does not always mean better. It is also the show that wins for the best background vocalist step. This one. It's so funky. It's so good. It's so funky. Okay, now it's 2001. We dial up the talent again. Aerosmith, Britney Spears. Aerosmith, Britney Spears, Mary J. Blige, Nelly, and NSYNC. This is a celebrity traffic jam that really worked for me. Because I'm a freshman in high school at this time. I had memorized all of Country Grammar, the album, not the single, and I may or may not have worn tube socks on my arms to school multiple times. Okay, if 2000 and 2001 were all about big talent, then 2002 and U2 are all about big impact. In the 2002 performance, we got to read the names of all who lost their lives in the attacks on 9/11. And even watching it now, I get tears in my eyes. So if you are in the mood for catharsis and a good cry, give that one a go. In 2003, Shania Twain, Sting, and Gwen Stefani hit the stage. Sorry, no doubt. It's pretty much what you would expect, but this shot is worth noting. At 7 minutes and 7 seconds, human beings turn into popcorn, and it's very effective. In 2004, Janet, P. Diddy, Nelly, Kid Rock, and JT, and more of my favorite dancers of all time, they really do their thing. And then P. Diddy and Nelly rip off Hey Mickey without inviting Tony Basil to the party. And now I'm upset, and we're not going to discuss anything further, especially any wardrobe malfunctions. Okay. In 2005, Paul McCartney is an adorable earth angel sent from the United Kingdom. LED floors are used artfully, but we don't really start taking advantage of that until 2012 with Madonna and Katy Perry. We're getting there. In 2006, the UK is back with the Rolling Stones, and they play all their own instruments, live, electric, which is pretty outrageous considering that 6-minute setup time. I can't even set up a Zoom call for 30 people in 6 minutes, so just consider that. In 2007, speaking of live, Prince uses 4 different electric guitars, live electric guitars, in a tropical storm. On plexiglass, with twins running full speed around him in heels, which, pause. The internet wants you to think that those dancers are wearing 8-inch heels. I found several sources citing these 8-inch heels, and I just need to say this for the record. Those are not 8-inch heels. This is the highest heel I've ever danced in. It's 4 inches. This is the tallest shoe I've ever elected to wear by choice. And it's 5 inches. I may have step-touched in this shoe, but certainly nothing more than that. This is my foot in a full releve, just for reference. A full releve, 6 inches. My friends, I am not trying to take anything away from these ladies. I would have knocked out on that first chenet turn. I just want you to know the facts. Those are not 8-inch heels. Those are phenomenal dancers, however. That said, the highlight of this show was not dance, nor was it meant to be dance. Of course, the highlight of this show, and possibly any Super Bowl halftime show ever, is Prince himself singing Purple Rain in torrential downpour, which even a $10 million production budget cannot buy. Literal mic drop. The end. So that everybody can recover from that, the Super Bowl spent the next 3 years with some pretty great older white men. Tom Petty, Bruce Springsteen, and The Who had a really pretty stage with lots of LEDs and pretty lasers. In 2011, the Black Eyed Peas, speaking of lights, had a lot of moving parts, least of all them. But their performance called a lot on the field cast, which was actually really, really cool. There's one transition in particular that I want to point out where lighting, very dim in the center of the field, ripples outwards, which draws our eye to the people exiting, not the people entering. So we have this, oh my God, awesome surprise moment when the field cast lights up in these bright green arrows and they act as a living, breathing LED stage for the rest of the show. Love that a lot. Also love my friends dancing sweet moves and Usher jumping over will.i.am and landing like this. I'm so glad that went well. It could have gone very wrong and it didn't. Speaking of things not going wrong, 2012 may be my favorite halftime show ever. Madonna featuring Nicki Minaj, MIA, LMFAO, and CeeLo, which is a lot of letters. Yeah, that fully happened. And it's exceptional. Almost perfect, actually. Almost perfect, because this happened. And she still didn't miss a beat. This show, creative directed by Jamie King and choreographed by Rich and Tone Talawega, is not only essential viewing, it is essential multiple viewings. You must do it. It's my favorite. In fact, I can't think of anybody who could follow that up except Beyoncé, who is really, truly almost flawless, like actual flawless, because she missed that one mark for that overhead shot. But that's what happens when you don't look down ever, because you are shooting laser beams out of your eyes and into the hearts and souls of 100 million people. You are forgiven for missing your mark. God, that was good. One of the things I did want to point out about that performance, though, is this very smart stage design and the illusion where Beyoncé begins standing alone in front of this LED wall, which is actually just the stage itself folded up at 90 degrees. And then she multiplies into multiple Beyoncés. And you're thinking, oh, cool, what a great use of an LED wall. And then you're like, wait, those Beyoncés look very three-dimensional. Oh my God. No, that's not just a great use of an LED wall. That's a great use of transitioning dancers in and out of space using bright light and dark to disguise the transitions. So keep your eyes on the sides of the brightness if you want to see those transitions. We switched dancers not only once, but twice. Really, really cool effect. Powerful and smart. Now, we need to talk about toaster lifts. These lifts, called toaster lifts, are called toasters because they work like an actual toaster, but they're powered by a hydraulic system and they shoot you, not toast, up 3 to 4 feet in the air above the stage level. This can actually be very fun and very effective. Shout out Michael in 93. But it can also be really stressful when you're performing in front of 100 million and way less fun, straight up awkward, in fact, when you're wearing heels. Now, Kelly's reveal is timed beautifully with the pyro, just like Michael's was. The pyro behind her slightly blinds the audience at stage level to conceal that awkward, uncertain moment. And then God bless Michelle, who was slightly less confident to begin with, but the pyro wasn't timed right, or there was a delay in her lift, which left her very exposed and very uncertain, and it left us with a lot of really good gifts. All in all, though, this performance is sensational. And this J-Set-inspired call and response section at the end, where there are an additional 125 dancers. Watch it at 1.25 speed if you'd like to get a little chuckle on. So fast. So fun. Okay, moving right along. 2014, Bruno and the Red Hot Chili Peppers get a lot of heat for not... punny. They get a lot of heat for not performing their instruments live, which... duh. 6-minute setup time. It's actually quite standard. Also, Bruno is funky. In 2015, Katy Perry, Lenny Kravitz, and Missy Elliott, one of the most memorable Super Bowl halftime shows in history. 2016. Beyoncé and Bruno Mars remind us that they are untouchable. And Chris Martin reminds every tour dancer of our favorite way to get from A to B. The run skip. I'm not laughing at you. I am laughing with you because most anyone who's ever had to cover a great distance in a short time has done the run skip. It is not my favorite thing. There are other options. I am happy to share them with you. Okay, 2017. Speaking of other options, Lady Gaga takes all available other options. This performance is exceptional. A lot of incredible dancers, like some of my favorite dancers of all time, and a lot of claw hands. It's great, top to bottom. Okay, 2018. This is where I get to brag. Not because I'm in it, which I am, which I admit is very cool, but because this halftime show features the production element that, in my albeit very biased opinion, packs the biggest impact with the smallest footprint. And that would be the dancing mic stand. A very small, very practical, very predictable prop, reimagined and used exceptionally well, and it punches me in the guts every time I see it. The dancing mic stand was conceived by my mentor, boss, and friend, Marty Kudelka, who is also the choreographer of this entire halftime show. But that mic stand itself was made by Daniel Reitz, aka Vice Chief, who happens to be my husband. Let's see. 2019, Maroon 5, we're just going to graze right on by that. Now let's talk 2020. J-Lo and Shakira. Creative directed by Nappy Tabs, with J-Lo's choreography by Paris Goebel, and all of Shakira's set by Jaquel Knight. A dream team. This is a moment for women. This is a moment for Latinos. This is a moment for dance. Holy freaking smokes. It is also the only time that this happened. It's the first time we saw a pole dance section at a halftime show, other than the Black Eyed Peas entrance. It is also the award winner, my award, for the most well-disguised mic handoff ever. And that moment has a lot of pressure on it. I could talk about the dancing in this performance for a very long time. But I'm trying to keep this under 20 minutes, so I'm going to close it out by shouting out my favorite moves ever danced at a Super Bowl halftime show. And that is Bruno Mars and Friends from 2016, choreography by Phil Tyag, and I'm just smitten. That's it for me. It, like, borderline looks like a warm-up, because they're so in the pocket. I love it. In fact, I might go learn it and dance it right now. Thanks for listening, everybody. I hope you learned a lot. I hope you go rewatch and give a lot of love to the dancers and creative teams that made your favorite moments possible. I'll be back in 2050 to do this again, maybe. And in the meantime, I would love to hear if I missed any of your favorite moments. Do you have any Super Bowl secrets that you think I should know about? Holler.